The Atlanta skyline glittered against the twilight sky, but inside the glass fortress of Meridian Technologies, storm clouds were gathering. In the executive boardroom on the 42nd floor, 30 of the company's brightest engineers, most with multiple degrees from prestigious universities, sat in defeated silence. Their CEO, Vanessa Harper, a formidable black woman known for her uncompromising standards, paced the length of the polished conference table. 6 months, she said, her voice cutting through the tension. 6 months and $12 million, and we're no closer to solving this than when we started. The problem was deceptively simple. Meridian's autonomous vehicle navigation system kept failing in urban environments. Their self-driving cars performed flawlessly on highways but became dangerously unpredictable on city streets. With their major investor presentation just 3 days away, the project was on the verge of collapse. Dr. Nathaniel Powell, the white, silver-haired chief technology officer, removed his glasses. "We've tried every approach in the book, Vanessa. The neural network simply can't process the complexity of urban traffic patterns fast enough." Meanwhile, 17 floors below, 23-year-old Darius Jackson adjusted his delivery uniform as he waited in the lobby. A tall, lanky black man with close-cropped hair and intelligent eyes, Darius balanced a stack of pizza boxes while checking the time on his phone. This was his third delivery of the evening, squeezed in between community college classes and his night shift at the gas station. Unlike the engineers upstairs, Darius didn't have a computer science degree. What he did have was a mind that never stopped working and a passion for solving puzzles that bordered on obsession. Growing up in South Atlanta with a single mother who worked 3 jobs, formal education had always taken a back seat to survival. But that hadn't stopped him from teaching himself coding through free online courses and secondhand textbooks. As Darius waited for someone to claim the order, his attention drifted to a large display screen visible through the glass walls of a nearby conference room. The screen showed a simulation of a car navigating through city streets, repeatedly freezing at complex intersections. Something about the way the system processed the traffic patterns caught his eye. After 20 minutes with no one appearing, Darius approached the security desk. "Excuse me, ma'am, I've got a delivery for the engineering department, but no one's coming down." The security guard, a middle-aged white woman named Beatrice, sighed. "They're probably all in that emergency meeting. Been going on for hours." Just then, the elevator doors opened, and out stumbled Sophia Reyes, a junior engineer with bloodshot eyes and disheveled hair. Sorry," she called out, rushing toward Darius. "We completely forgot about the food." As she fumbled for her wallet, Darius nodded toward the simulation still running on the screen. "Your autonomous system is prioritizing visual data over spatial mapping. That's why it keeps freezing at complex intersections." Sophia froze, her credit card halfway out of her wallet. "What did you just say?" "The system," Darius continued, pointing to the screen. "It's processing each visual input sequentially instead of creating a predictive spatial model. That's why it can't handle multiple moving objects at once." Sophia stared at him, mouth slightly open. "How do you know that?" Darius shrugged, suddenly self-conscious. "Just an observation. I code a little in my spare time." Without another word, Sophia grabbed the pizzas, thrust a $20 bill into his hand, and disappeared back into the elevator. Upstairs, the mood had shifted from despair to resignation. Vanessa Harper was about to announce the project's suspension when Sophia burst through the door, pizza boxes tilting precariously in her arms. "The delivery guy," she gasped, out of breath. "He just looked at our simulation for like 2 minutes and identified the exact problem we've been missing." The room erupted in skeptical laughter until Dr. Powell raised his hand for silence. "What exactly did he say, Sophia?" As she explained, the laughter died away. Two engineers immediately pulled up the code and began examining the visual processing algorithms. Within minutes, the room was buzzing with renewed energy. "Get him up here," Vanessa ordered. "Now." Darius was already halfway to his scooter when security called him back. 10 minutes later, he found himself in an elevator ascending to the executive floor, his heart hammering against his ribs. When the doors opened, he stepped into another world, one of floor-to-ceiling windows, modern art, and the unmistakable aura of power. Vanessa Harper studied him carefully as he entered the boardroom. "You're the delivery person who commented on our autonomous vehicle system." "Yes, ma'am," Darius replied, fighting to keep his voice steady. "I didn't mean to overstep." "Tell me exactly what you saw," she said, gesturing to the simulation now projected on the wall. Taking a deep breath, Darius approached the screen. "Your system is treating each visual input as a separate problem to solve, but urban traffic is more like a fluid, dynamic system." His initial nervousness faded as he lost himself in the explanation. "If you implement a predictive spatial mapping algorithm that anticipates movement patterns rather than just reacting to them, you can reduce your processing load by about 60%. The room was silent as he sketched a rough diagram on a nearby whiteboard. Dr. Powell stepped forward, his expression a mixture of disbelief and growing respect. "You're suggesting we completely restructure our approach to real-time data processing?" "Yes, sir," Darius nodded. "Instead of trying to process everything at once, you create a predictive model that gets smarter with each interaction." A young engineer was already typing furiously, implementing a rough version of Darius's suggestion. The simulation restarted, and for the first time, the virtual car navigated smoothly through a complex intersection. "It works," someone whispered, and then louder. "It actually works." Vanessa Harper's eyes narrowed. "Mr. Jackson, where did you study computer science?" "I didn't, ma'am. Not formally." Darius shifted uncomfortably. "I've been teaching myself while saving up for community college." "And you developed this approach while delivering pizzas?" A hint of a smile crossed Darius's face. "Actually, it reminded me of how I navigate through traffic on my scooter. You don't look at each car individually. You feel the flow of movement and anticipate where spaces will open up." The room fell silent again, but this time with a different quality, something between awe and embarrassment. 30 highly paid engineers with advanced degrees had been outthought by a delivery person with no formal training. What happened next would later be recounted in tech blogs and business school case studies across the country. Vanessa Harper, known for her calculated business decisions, made an uncharacteristically impulsive one. "Mr. Jackson, I'd like to offer you a position at Meridian Technologies, effective immediately." Darius blinked. "As what?" "As our new innovation specialist, with a starting salary of $90,000 and full college tuition coverage." The twist that no one saw coming occurred 3 days later at the investor presentation. Instead of Vanessa or Dr. Powell presenting their breakthrough, they brought Darius onto the stage. Dressed in a new suit that still bore the creases from the store, he explained his solution to a room full of venture capitalists and industry leaders. The presentation was a sensation. Not only did Meridian secure their funding, but they also received 3 acquisition offers before the day was out. The story of the delivery person who saved a multi-million-dollar project spread through tech circles like wildfire. But the most unexpected development came 2 weeks later, when Darius was settling into his new office. While reviewing the company's previous attempts at solving the problem, he discovered something disturbing. Buried in the code archives was an early prototype that used an approach similar to his solution. Submitted 6 months earlier by a junior engineer named Tyler Washington, a young black man who had been let go during the first round of project restructuring. Darius brought this discovery directly to Vanessa Harper. To her credit, she didn't attempt to bury it. Instead, she personally called Tyler, offering him not only his job back, but also a position co-leading the new autonomous vehicle division alongside Darius. The final twist in the story came 1 year later, when Meridian's autonomous vehicle system became the industry standard. At the launch celebration, Darius and Tyler unveiled their next project, a free coding academy in South Atlanta, funded by their bonuses and matched by corporate donations, designed specifically for underrepresented communities. "Talent is equally distributed," Darius told the reporters gathered for the announcement. "Opportunity is not. We're just trying to even the odds a little." As cameras flashed and questions flew, Vanessa Harper stood at the back of the room, watching her two young stars with a mixture of pride and humility. The lesson hadn't been lost on her or on Meridian. Sometimes the most revolutionary ideas come from the places and people you least expect. In boardrooms across America, executives began asking themselves an uncomfortable question: how many Dariuses and Tylers had they passed by, overlooked, or underestimated? And what innovations had they missed as a result? The story of the delivery boy who shocked the world didn't just change Meridian Technologies, it challenged an entire industry to reconsider what genius looks like and where it might be found.